In this video, we're going to look at price ceilings and black markets. So here is our market. We got demand and supply. The equilibrium price is $5 and the equilibrium quantity is 5, but a price ceiling was instituted at $3. That is a maximum price that can be charged for a good. In this case, sellers only want to bring 3 units to the market. At $3, walk over the supply curve, come down, and the quantity supplied is 3. And here at $3, we can see what consumers are willing and able to buy. They're willing and able to buy 7 units, so we have a mismatch between the quantity demanded, 7, and the quantity supplied, and that difference of 4 units represents the shortage. So anyways, a price ceiling is just a legally established maximum price that can be charged for a good. In some cases, a black market may arise where sellers require an under-the-table payment in addition to the market price. So in this case, the advertised price would be $3 from sellers, but in order to get this good, sellers might expect an additional payment, an under-the-table payment. Because many consumers' maximum willingness to pay for the good exceeds the price ceiling, which is $3, consumers may be willing to make under-the-table payments to purchase the good. After all, with price ceilings, there's a shortage. In this case, we said the shortage was 4 units, 7 minus 3. So many consumers would prefer to buy the good above the price ceiling than not being able to buy it at all. So let's first look at welfare here in the market when there is no black market. So the quantity demanded is 7, the quantity supplied is 3. Excess demand is going to be 4 units, 7 minus 3. So let's start calculating producer surplus. Producer surplus is just going to be the difference between the market price and the supply curve up to that last unit sold, which is 3. So it's going to be this triangle, the area of this triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. So that's where the 1/2 is coming from. And we can say the height of this triangle is 3 minus 0, and this base of this triangle is also just 3 units, or 3 minus 0. So doing the math here, producer surplus is $4.50. Producers receive $4.50 more than they actually needed to in order to sell these 3 units. In terms of consumer surplus, it's going to be 2 areas. It's going to be an area of a rectangle and an area of a triangle. So in general, it's just a difference between the height of the demand curve and the price, in this case, the price ceiling of $3. So the difference between the height of the demand curve and the price, all the way up to that last unit purchased by consumers, which is the 3rd unit. So we want to calculate this area here. And the easiest way to do that is to break it up into 2 parts, a triangle and a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is width times length. And here we have a width of 7 minus 3 and a length here of just 3 units. So that's part of consumer surplus. That's going to be $12 right there. And then the remaining part of consumer surplus is going to be this triangle up here. And that has an area of 1/2 base times height, where the height is 10 minus 7, the vertical intercept minus the 7 here, over the number of units, which is 3. And doing the math here, we get total consumer surplus of $16.50. If we wanted to calculate the deadweight loss, it would be another triangle, and it would be this triangle right here, where the height of the demand curve exceeds the height of the supply curve up to this 5th unit. So we got 1/2 7 minus 3. That's the height of the triangle, and the base here is 5 minus 3, and that is our calculation. This 5 here would represent the equilibrium quantity in a competitive market. So the deadweight loss is $4. All right, now let's look at what happens with a black market. Same thing, the quantity demanded would be 7, quantity supplied would be 3. But we might want to ask this question, well, what is the highest price per unit that sellers could ask if they're only willing to sell 3 units? So if sellers are only willing to sell 3 units, let's find what the maximum willingness to pay would be. We take this 3 units and we walk it up to the height of the demand curve, and we come across it's $7. So the height of the demand curve at 3 units equals $7. So consumers would be willing to pay $7 per unit and then buy all 3 units that sellers are trying to get rid of. So again, we can check it this way. If the price is $7, walk over the demand curve, come down, sellers would be willing to let go 3 units. So how would this work? Consumers would pay the advertised price, the legal price of $3 per unit, and then would slip sellers under the table in this black market here, $4 additional for the unit. So in total, consumers are going to be $7 out of pocket. Sellers are going to be collecting $7 then per unit. So producer surplus in this case is going to be the area of a rectangle and a triangle. So what once was consumer surplus now becomes producer surplus with the black market and these under the table payments or bribes. And doing the math here, producer surplus is $16.50. Consumer surplus, on the other hand, consumers are paying $7 ultimately for the product, $3 up front, and then $4 under the table. And consumer surplus under that scenario is $4.50. The deadweight loss wouldn't change here. All right, I will stop here.